and I don't like to people to see my eyes because they told me my eyes are terrifying to look at. I just want to say hi to all of you because I was thinking a lot and I wanted to talk about um, loneliness, tiredness, and hunger, how addictive it is to possess those qualities. And then somebody just mentioned, I brought up this woman about how is she as a singer, is she good? And she said, oh well, she had just had kids and all that, and I was saying, wow. But then somebody else mentioned that they have all these friends and she doesn't know if she should continue her friendship with them, and I'm like saying, well, those are the ones that you need to cultivate as friends. The reason why we don't do that anymore and life becomes boring is because we have all the texts, the email, the Facebook, so we don't communicate anymore in person, all on phone or text or message. And then when we meet face to face, it was just a text or a message. It didn't really mean anything. It was a different type of an emotion, an addiction. So how you overcome the addiction is don't do it. In other words, it's nothing like meeting somebody for coffee or talking on the phone personally and then meeting. And stop leaving messages. Don't text me about something or leave me a message that you don't really mean. So if you really mean to talk to me, call me and catch me on the phone. So people want to be this and they want to be that, but they don't want to rise at 4 o'clock in the morning and roll up their sleeves and work. But they want it. So they get it, but then what? They can't keep it. Because it goes to their head. So I think more of face-to-face emotion, where you can tell, really how fucked up I am. Is a realization we all need sometimes. But that's why, so there was this fella from the Bronx. He would come in and slip out and come in and slip out, and I kept calling him every day for 6 months. So there's many ways of slandering away. Not by saying anything, but by doing something is slandering. But the fact that you always keep coming back shows that you know and understand that you really need that help. But you cannot get the help through the ink. Somebody told me, this ink is from India. Because the Taínos and the British signed the New York Treaty. You look at the coat of the cities of Taíno. That's where the word red man came from. Because they used to paint themselves red, the Taínos. So that much I know. So when we go to bed at night, we're very, very tired when we waist down. And there is not much we can do even in communication or romance. And then we wake up in the morning and we're so tired in the head because the evening was uneasy. We couldn't sleep because we didn't have that love, we didn't have that romance, we didn't have that connection, whether with another being or with yourself. So, and then it goes on to that point where you say, well, it doesn't pay, should I continue? And my answer would be continue. But don't give up the past. In other words, stay connected, but don't get attached to it where you can disconnect, because sometimes you need to disconnect to clear the air sometimes. So yeah, that's one thing. But then still the person is slanderous too. Is that they learn something, but they really don't learn unless it matters. You know, they have all these rules. You know, even a slide rule these days. So somebody was trying to calculate something, a simple number on their phone, and I gave them the answer before they could even type it in, and they will continue it anyway to see the numbers, but they didn't believe me. They wanted to see actual number, so now it's digits. So. But the electricity is in yourself. How much power, how much current do you have to resist getting burnt out? So you have to be like awfully strong, like nerves of well-tempered steel. So it's challenging to the sense that you say really realize how way back you are. So for you to come in and like zoom, it's so fast, it's like lightning. So that's how fast this medicine is. But in the reality, in the normal sense that we know, it's supposed to be calm and cool. And I always wondered how my ancestors and my parents would survive in this high society and low society and total acceptance. And there was always peace. But then we inherited this dogma from our ancestors, and it infected us, and it's infecting us more, because we fail to realize how much power we have. So the power gets overhead, so we can see and think clearly. Common sense, and nothing is going to change, no matter who leads the universe. Since the creation of time and God, there has never been peace of mind. When there is peace of mind, it's just that we got caught up. And he said, and she said. And then that is where the loneliness comes in, how lonely we are. Because not other people hate us or love us, is that we don't love we. So until you love you and believe in you, you can really be accepted by the Creator of yourself and declare where you stand in the moment, and where the direction that you want to go in. And then that doesn't last forever, but you have to be good at change. So, but how do we change? We are always tired and then become hungry. The hunger comes is because we are tired. We're tired of this bullshit. And that tired is an addiction, is because we're addicted to not being successful, not fear. So then we want to conquer that fear. So the only way you can conquer that fear is with your mind. You know, how you think. You know, like, so you actually become like that whatever, you know. And it's powerful. So, and then, you know, it's a combination of the body, the foot, and the whole body, how the body moves, dances, you know, like use all these little things to do. And there's all defense, don't touch me. Like the baby and the baby boy. So the baby, by nature, has got that defense system. But it's how fast the mind is. So we hustling to do different martial arts, and then we bashing the mind, the organs up. So why waste all that good energy when we could really make something more positive and powerful? You know? I realize it's not so much the liking of getting your ass licked, but if you really want to learn something, you have to be prepared to take your licking, and then decide, well, how much longer do I want to take a licking? Because most of the time we lick ourselves because of that fear of success, because we're so hungry. Stop eating, stop sleeping, be more active, communicate with different people, do different things, music, dance, yoga, poetry. Speak it and declare it. It's yours. Go claim it. You own it. It don't own you. So anytime you want to dish it, is your resources. There you go. Don't hug it because you don't own it. And you don't own me. Anyway, you know, I really do appreciate everybody, and there's a lot more for me to learn, and I don't know really if I can share it, because we all think on a different level. So I mean, I always say, let's take this to another level. And one I looked at me and he laughed. He said, what level is that? I thought he was trying to put me down. But what he's saying is rise to the level. Because a strong, solid level would be on how prosperous it is, because the more prosperous it is the less effort it has to make. So hard in training and easy in battle. Understanding how many arms and mind you have, and how the Creator splices its energy up, and which one of that energy you want to catch for the moment. But like I said earlier, stay connected, but don't get connected, so you can detach at any time. Imagine yourself in space, you're floating, and you got all these conduits and avenues, and like really precise, Really precise. Really precise. What are you doing? You're pushing it away. And that's a mental exercise. So stop eating. Only eat when you need to eat. Eat to live, not live to eat. And I think that's one addiction there. And another addiction is the tobacco. Why do I need tobacco to pray? I don't need tobacco to pray. I don't need to see the sun to pray either. Sometimes I ask people, they say, oh, well, I don't like to pray. And I tell them I don't like to pray either. And then I go to the bathroom and I take a shit and I say, God, Creator, look how beautiful I am and have mercy on me. And when I shit, it's like a prayer. It's one of the most precise forms of meditation. And then they sing these songs, how this guy said, started unconsciously what he was doing. And this woman with the kids, talking, teaching them or sharing with them how to cultivate and how to culture them. Even when they don't want to do it, they have that gift. Lend some energy. So, in the name of their kids, so the kids get out of it, understanding of food and how much they flew. Like that feather needs to found upstate New York, a waterfall. Nobody gave it to her to create it. Namah Shivaya, 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 I went to this meetup a week or so ago, and this guy, his dog died. And I went there and helped them make the prayer. I saw the way they moved, they didn't understand about the medicine. But I felt good about it because they took time out to pray for this dog. And that's good energy. I see that they really, really want to learn his ways. But there's a way to do something. If you want to follow a way, but you can always change ways. One minute you think this way, the next minute you think that way. Shit, I should think this way. So stay put on the first way. And when you really, really get good at it, you go on to many, many ways, a level, but they're on the same level. It's just that you get higher, more sophisticated, more cultivated. That's the growth of a culture. So with a civic culture, with a culture with power and prestige and all these things, but deep, deep down there's poverty. They're giving away everything that they own and have. They don't own anything. They just survive, but they survive on how clever the medicine made them, how clever the Creator made them. God bless them. However which way it comes, the animals, the aggression, the suppression, but you can't go anywhere with all that to the Creator. The Creator will not accept that sort of vibration because that one string will pound. So, yeah. And then, I sing a lot in my language. Wow. So that's hunger. So what I'm saying is more important about the movements because all these they mean something. Like I say, you want to break whatever it is. So then you start learning this art to be a better chess player. So the you just sort that energy out by the moves. So you always like sweeping a foot away, sweeping a hand away, dodging the bullet, things like that, pushing that energy away, swimming, pushing that energy away. So by swimming, you can push all that away, move. With the waves, because our minds are on these these wavelengths. So you want to really stay on that one wavelength. So already I'm sharing a set of songs that I do to stay in that beam for as long as I can. And every once in a while I'll slip off and start creating a new beam of light. And then go because it's so dark. We reinvent your song. So, these songs I feel comfortable with because other songs just claim that it's somebody else's song and like saying, to me it's just a song. But then I made up my own song and it works. And it taught me a lesson that said, well, if that doesn't work for you, this will work for you. And from constant toying it around, I was able to allow it to work for me, and it is working for me. It's working for us. We're not working for it. I'm saying, you got that power, you got that skill, you got that ability. Your long black hair, I look at me, I see your sparkling eyes. I hear your jingle bells at the color, I see your naughty smile. My head dark is falling to me, yes, you can be the rainbow tree. Oh, down on the land, I will come to you. Oh, down on the land, I will come to you. I see your long black hair, I look at me and I see your sparkling eyes. I hear your angel bells a tinkling, I see your naughty smile. My dark is falling to me as she sings beneath the mango tree. Oh, da my love, I will come to you. Oh, da my love, I will come to you. See your long black hair, I look at me and I see your sparkling eyes. I hear your angel bells a tinkling, I see your naughty smile. My dark is calling to me as she sings the mango tree. Oh, da my love, I will come to you. Oh, da my love, I will come to you. See your long black hair, again. I see your sparkling eyes. Hear your ankle bells are tickling. I see your naughty smile. I hear the dark is calling to me. And she swings me that mango tree. Oh, da, da, my love, I will come to me. Oh, da, da, my love, I will come to me. I see your long black hair. I stick them in. I see your sparkling eyes. Hear your ankle bells are tickling. I see your naughty smile. If Lord Krishna feels this way, when you think of all the romance, oh Radha, my love, I will come to you. Oh Radha, my love, I will come to you. As I take her in my arms, she strikes me with her charm. As my divine Radha holds me away. So that was just another song that my mom wrote, and nobody, like nobody can, that's my song. So my mom wrote it, and I never thought that I would ever share it like that. I kind of feel a little honor because that's how she cultivated us, that's how she cultured us. So it's hard to grow up in a culture and then you get somewhere else and you get a culture shock. And it takes 20 years to get adjusted to that culture, realizing in the end is that it never happened to your culture. Your culture didn't have all this. Why you need all this? So that's why I say that put away the machine and communicate. You call somebody, don't leave a message on the machine. Keep calling them until you get them. You don't text them to remind them, and you don't email them or Facebook them. If they're hungry, they're gonna come. If they're hungry but they're lazy, then they're not gonna come. So it's all about helping each other. I don't own it, you don't own it, you don't own you. And it's free. It is. Nobody owns it. I don't own it, you don't own it. I'm there, I don't own it, I help you, you help me. Maybe I might need to go to the woods and cut me a crutch, or a splint, or something like that. So I'll manage my pain, my agony. But I don't need an implant, I don't need a machine. I don't need to get a lobotomy, things like that. Well, only through the songs, because then through the songs you get a picture of how delightful it is to be with the Spirit. And the Spirit said, all right, I'm good of you, how well you do things. Now now it's time for you to go earn it. So you train for it. So now then you go, you work for it, and you already get it. Now you're gonna keep it. And there's always that spiritual mother out there. And that's how the mind, you read it like a book. You're always blocking, keeping that area clear. You could, when you always know to turn around, I would use my foot, block with the hand, push, block the wrist, push slam, all sorts of things, and then you grab the jugular and squeeze them that. It must be, fingers must go through. You got them, because you went with the jugular. But it's highly likely they wouldn't go for your jugular, but they'll mutilate you. And that's not the way of the warrior. So what we are right now are spiritual warriors. You ride that horse, coyote string, spiritual warrior. You see it coming. We don't wait until it gets in the door, and then we don't have that like that. Take care of it. So you should see it coming a year, 2 years, 5 years down the line. So that's why you keep practicing. You know, harder, training, using battle. So the better you are, is a 101% chance of you coming back alive. So even if you die, you're still alive. Like this feather, when I touch it, this feather created gifted Misha as a waterfall in somewhere in Woodstock. And it's a very lucky omen. So you just learn the bird. And there's things that the bird doesn't like, so you things like the moon, somebody in the moon and stuff. There's nothing bad about it, it's just that somebody in the moon is very powerful and sacred, so put it down. Seal it off, sage and put it in a box with a little bit of cedar and let it sit there for a whole year. And I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. So don't try to learn anything or remember anything. So, you don't even have to walk with the tobacco. Just keep it right there. Every once in a while, you get tempted, you clean it up on the outside, leave it on the inside. Never open that box again for 1 year. I will see how much knowledge you'll get, because now you got a responsibility, you got to take care of something. And it's very simple. Just put it in a box, put it in your shop. See? It didn't cost you anything to get it. It don't cost you anything to keep it. Because you can keep more clutter than just one piece. Yeah, and then another song I made up, but it's another version of something. My intention at the time, I didn't know what it really meant. I just thought it was a dynamic rhythm. My imagination of the creation was different, but it helped cultivate me, culture me into something I understood in a different yard of dimension. And I removed myself from humanity. So that's another chant to keep me motivated, keep me going, charging me up. And a lot of it too is that I know that I fuck up and I don't want to continue it, but I do it half-assed, but I still keep practice. So then I realized it's better to study something when you're like really dirt tired at night. You burn that time. So you get so tired you want to sleep. So you want to start reversing that energy. When you wake up in the morning, as I start with the head, but I don't want to put it with the feet. So you want to get that feet tired when you go to bed at night and the mind is sharp and alert. So then they'll both rest. The feet will rest and the mind will rest. So when you get up in the morning, you will have that energy in the head, because then you push that body to be physical and you work that body. You the machine, you turn that ignition on and say, let's work. So you create that limberness in the mind. You say only in the body, but in the mind has to be limber. Like, so the body could be limber. How long do you want to stretch? How long do you want to shrink? Things like that. So it's exciting, because I just got a good feeling that a little bit of work would expand these like the Shakti, the songs, and this gift that the Creator gave us. And there's nothing different than anything else. It's just something that we took, borrowed, or worked with from an iPad. Somehow we stumbled in and then we sing that song. We might change it up. I did change a lot of words up, and there's a lot of verses missing. I can't remember. But I'm not at that level where I would go look or re-educate myself on it, because I'm not researcher, not good at that. But I understand that one of the important aspects of life is accepting it for what it is. Don't beat it down because it doesn't suit your way. And just the way. So that's how alone we can become, because we start isolating that karma, that Shakti. So if you're not brilliant, everything I see must be brilliant, and touch must be brilliant. So if I don't see how brilliant, I don't see you. So I want to see you, I want to see you in the light. I want to see the light in the light. But look at this way, alcohol is what causes tiredness and hunger and loneliness, is that, and then alternating mind drug, how it shakes us. But there's no old medicine, how one ancestors would use just a little bit, with an aphrodisiac. So that's like the tobacco, how we became addicted, I don't know. But some sort of stress created that addiction, because something happened that affected us mentally and physically, that made us those mental slaves. Work, and the machine kept going and going and going. Didn't have more spice or oil or enough chemistry or with oiling in the sprocket of the wheel of life. And the power is in the sprocket, how the sprockets blinks, shines, send that energy out. So there's a lot of times there's something that you can't see when it's there, I don't know. So yeah, so even if I say bow to the sun in the morning, the sun isn't there, it's there. Light, it doesn't have to be light to see the sun. Salutations to the sun is already there. And then sometimes you light a fire and you bring the sun down. Already no different. But one thing I really want to stress on is the laziness, the addiction level. We ourselves to fall in. It becomes so repetitive and boring and redundant. We know that what we have to do, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. So it's hard to fast, or hunger. You're so hungry, so you forgot and you miss lunch. So wait until dinner and eat and don't make up for it what you missed. So even starvation and torture is a little bit good for you. But don't get tired to eat and don't get tired to drink water. That's how important it is. So it's more serious than you would think. Maybe not water. Always willing to say no. But always willing to say yes all the time. And never say no to something, no matter how bad it is. Because if you believe you have that shakti, you change that poison to medicine. But yeah, these the martial arts moves, the good practice to get into, because I think you could understand what a precise instrument it is. Once you ingest it, you can't take it out of you. Not me, not you, not the creator, not the medic, not the saint shrimp. But if you allow yourself to be conscious in the cosmic consciousness of the creator, the medicine, then you'll understand more. So that's why I tell people to save your questions. Because if you ask me something, I might tell you something that you really don't want to hear. But in reality, you already know what I would say. But you don't really want to accept it. So that is a fear that we create, or making our fear be our success. Because it could be a surprise too. So don't be taken by surprise. Always accept it, because most times this thing that you would normally fantasize about, but if you speak it, then it will come your way. So yeah, the door is open, and it's kind of conservative, for musicians and artists trying to put something together. We're sort of picky and choosy, because we want the best. Not saying that you're not the best, but the best, and even the best is how you grow. Because like a peach tree, you pick apple here, a peach there. So every time people have the way that's turned, then you're overcrowded. And then when you're overcrowded, it becomes confusing. And then you become dumbfounded. And then you become less motivated, because you are hungry, but you would rather starve. Well, this goes back many, many eons from the beginning of time. We passed through so many rulerships, dictatorships, and there was always a democracy. And there was always a Republican. So these things change, but the principle hasn't changed. The dynamics haven't changed. It isn't expanded. The knowledge, technicality to it. And then got you. And got you my ball. But because like, man, squeeze it, but you can't kill me, you can't hurt me, squeeze them more, squeeze some more. See what you're gonna get. You're gonna get nothing. This is my life, but then you can't make something if I don't exist. Because whether I earn money or don't earn money, you still get something for pension or social security. I mean, even though you earned it, but then you become rude and obnoxious, peace, regardless, is sort of disturbing. But how you gonna convince people to be like that and civil? I don't know how. Because you've been looking now at people, you're going to be hesitant. Okay. I saw a post today about my mom who received this award from the president of my country when I was a little boy. So there was this presidential award, and she like won the highest medal of honor in my country. And I had a wheelchair over there, but it was only a couple of blocks to the president's house where we went. But what was interesting is that she had this dress for a long time, and it had a couple of holes in it, and she said, "Oh shit, I can't really afford to buy a new dress or a pair of shoes today." So then what she did is she found an old dress that she really loved, and she modified it, and she sewed it with her own hands. And then she took a pair of old outdated shoes and she polished it up herself. And she was a paraplegic. And she went to this, and I had to wheel her over in the wheelchair to this function, and she had everything. I was like, wow. And then this president's bodyguard befriended me right there, and then walked me, took me a tour in the house, took me on a tour of the land. And I was like, shit, this guy don't even know me. So that's really how I learned a lot about the military life. And then on a spiritual level, through this guy, and you could see he was an Indian guy, Indian descent, but you could see that shrewdness and that sharpness and that personality. You could see that he would work out. And then his skill as an empty hand fighter is don't underestimate. You don't know what somebody can do with their bare hands. And then God gave us these claws, the mind and the body. Now to root yourself in the ball of your feet in the air. And then sometimes you have to rise to that level of being so. So I don't really know how to honor the people that have supported me and supported this way. I don't really know how to do it. So that's why I appreciate the assistance that people are giving me to film this movie, this picture of us all, this Holocaust, or whatever you want to call it, showing us that where we went wrong, and then we continue to want to go wrong, because it's not about me or you anymore, it's about our generations to come. You want to invite them into this bullshit universe? No. So if you have a strong, cultivated culture that will attract the youth, you create that purity strength, purity fitness, So that's one of the reasons why I took a lot of our individual songs from my family, and I reinvented it into So, it's like riding that horse. You trot first, you warm it up, and you ride it a little bit, and then you take it full speed, real fast, and stop. Slow down, take it a little fast again. You go that distance where you will like really stretch it. And it's how you stretch your mind, stretch your spirit. Because you could really ride that horse. So like that, you want to learn to fly that bird. You really want to be the spirit, become that bird. On the earth, you got the buffalo, and the bear, you got the alligator, you got the lion, you got the tiger, the snake, different types of snake. They say the cobra is some of the sacred energy too. I like it, but am I afraid of it? A little bit. Because it's been a while since I interacted with them or lived in the jungle or any fashion with the jungle. So it's hard to adjust being domesticated. So I lost a lot of opportunities, but I didn't lose the knowledge, and I want to revive that back in my life, and I already have. And then there's a lot of things too I can still polish, and I know that I cannot do it alone, only with the help. Not just you, but other people. So, I tell them, even if you don't like it, pray. Even if you don't like to pray, pray. Because I said when you take a shit, I pray. I had to pray, I feel like I'm mercy, compassion. When I shit, something really happens, it's shit. And I know I'm going to say it over and over and over, but there's a teaching, there's a message to remind us that you don't need a place or a reason to pray. Because if you have a place or a reason to pray, then there's something between you and the Creator's connection. All these other things are destroyed. It's a convenience. But then you could put all these things and be creative. Because the Creator is giving you something because you need to hear something. And you're going to hear the same song over and over. Some people claim they're redundant. So I sort of made that up too. It's a real chant, but I thwarted it a little bit to adopt it the way that I want to walk. Because then nobody could really say anything to me, because then I didn't make it up in my own way, you know. But then if I have other people's songs or other songs from other tribes and I don't really know it, understand, and then you can't question me about my songs. I don't know your song, I want to sing your song. Sorry. But if I know what it meant, I would be more comfortable. But I guess if there wasn't any spiritual mugging or bashing, then I'd be comfortable with that. I used to sing the old songs and I watched the songs. And I know some, I know all actually, it's just I don't remember them when I sing. I can't carry the notes. So. Reason. So then I made allowances for that lack of knowledge. So that's one sign of me not being lazy anymore, because I got something, I got a little hungry. And then I got a little despondent because it wasn't as responsive or as I expected it to be. But somehow I did it for a reason, to get something out of it, and then it showed me that it's not like that. But if you really want it, then learn to do something about it. So this is the way I learned to do something about it. So I just want to share this with people. Not that they have to walk a certain way, but they find they're comfortable with it, and it can help them to get across the street temporarily and learn it. So the time that you learn it, you learn it well. So it's how a signature, the way you do it. And then it gets more affluent. So when we say there's a goddess named Saraswati, and then there's a goddess named Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is a goddess of wealth. She'll give you anything to get your attention. So to be affluent, to say pay attention to Saraswati and get all that knowledge. But Lakshmi will always show you a bone to get your attention. You don't want to get cocky with her. And you're going to hear me say that over and over and over. Because the more I say it, the more believable. But not only is it believable, it's truthful. So it doesn't have to be a lie, even if you made it up, because it's true, from the heart. You know. And you know, some lines I picked up from movies or some from other people when I grew up. People might have said something, or some poet or some songwriter or singer. And then I was inspired by musicians and art. And I always wanted to be one of those guys. So that's why what's motivated me. So I'm happy that people feel this medicine. Let's take a break. So, you know, it's like riding that horse. You trot first, you warm it up. During the stamina to be able to really receive it and hold it and keep it because you can work it. Don't let it work you. Don't let it tire you out either. Enough is enough. You can't do everything in one day or 1 week or 4 years. Even 5 generations, no, you can't get it right. But some way down the line, somebody's gonna get it. So getting it at this point, this shows where our ancestors came from. Because all their teachings and ways transcended to us in this form, and then your understanding through practice and knowledge, natural knowledge, ancient teachings, natural knowledge, self-realization, you're starting to feel and understand the ancestors, you can overcome that hate, that anger because of something may have happened. But if you want to be a super duper spiritual warrior, you don't have all that. You can pray and sleep and eat with your friends and enemies. and embrace your enemies and give them the best, the best. And you eat the scraps after you feed your dear ones the leftovers. And you will always win. Because the reason why I rather the scraps is that I don't eat too much. And I really get lazy. I'm greedy because I will want more. And then I say, well, shit, since I don't have it, let me go take it from somebody else. And you bully him. You shake him down. And you get it. And then you go out when that person, you started the butt again, and you hold him by the neck, back of the neck, and you cat and squeeze the little shit out of him. Milk him out. You know, that's how spirituality is. I feel those ways. I used to get angry a couple of years. I might have been hostile. But then I understand how the medicine works. You give a person a chance to grow. If this is something that they choose to do, you can say, well, what makes them qualified or the right to do that? You know, so I'm talking how I used to think. Will give me a right to live or to be or to take a shit. And I would rebuttal and something said, well, who gives this shit the right to do what he's doing? But I'm still here, and a lot of them are not here. They're somewhere. Are they doing great? I hope so. Sincerely pray that that's happening. I remember as a kid growing, there was a song about Sarah. It went like, hey, Sarah, Sarah, whatever will be, will be. The future is bright, you see. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. The future is bright, you see. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. And I'm like, oh, the future really bright, you see. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. Why should I leave it up to the Creator to decide for me? I'm not having to say it in my life. Because if you leave it all up to the Creator will leave you scraps. I don't know fucking scraps.
It's an interesting circular. I don't want no scraps, but we also give our loved ones and eat the scraps. So it's like we're endlessly scrappy. It's a good name. Scrappy, happy, scrappy.
I mean, you don't want to make it the face of America, the face of the universe. You just say that there's so many grains of rice and wool, and so many liters of water in the ocean for land to survive. But if we keep doing what we do, and putting poison in poison. We say earlier, changing poison into medicine. You can't do that anymore because the poison is the medicine. It's contaminated. And we're getting even more and more contaminated because you might have a reef, a river, or an ocean, and right here, the water is really, really super duper you can drink. And a fraction of an inch, that part is contaminated. Just a fraction. So if you fuck up, you're gonna really sail. So you gotta be a damn good swimmer to come back on the right side. See, in the center. To be in the center, you have that shakti. You got to go to the right or to the left to avoid. You cannot go around it, go over it. go under it, go on the side of it, or go over it again. You have to go through it. You have to go through it with the attitude of a warrior that win or lose, you're still gonna win. I'm doing this so we can all listen to it and review it. See where I'm at in terms of recording. Because there's a lot of top-notch musicians that I'm nowhere near. So and then they're willing to help me because they probably feel I see something. So I want to work with that. And I want to really give them the reins because they know better what to do than I do when they show up. Listen, the important is listen, catching that wave, riding that wave. And don't go under that wave, just stay with the wave and you stay inside the wave, you work the wave. So then there's the same wave in the sky, you'll be the baddest cat in the sky. Not strong you are physically, but strong you fly. By flying, you're sharing all that medicine and energy, burning it up so good for you. Put it on because I blew up my face. Sometimes short bursts, a little bit, before you go to canyon stretch, because the more you stay with it, the longer you build that endurance and that stamina up. Because the spirit only comes real quick and leaves as fast as it comes, so you want to be able to catch it, right? But let it go. You don't want to Somewhat I don't really regret not learning the single languages or the meaning. I wasn't that brilliant. I wouldn't really understand. I think I needed that slave mentality to like really learn what an Oklahoma was, how my ancestors were. The challenge too was great, the sacrifice. So yeah, for now I think that's good.